welcome to the stream. My name is Lee. It is not 2 o'clock yet. We are getting slightly better about this. Yay. For those of you who don't know, my name is Lee. Not straight, or not girl. That too. I feel like it's Pride Month. I shouldn't have to make fucking disclaimers. But you know what? It's fair. I also shaved my mustache, though, so that's fun. And I spent the entire weekend being, girl. Oh, I also got, apparently, a check from... Apparently, there's a check from the New York State that I never cashed, so the state of New York claims that they're owed me a bunch of money, and they're going to reissue the check, so that I just have to... Apparently, I'm getting a check from the state of New York from last year that just never... Anyway, point being, well, now you know I live in the state of New York, so that's fun. Which I never really made a secret of anyway. I don't know if that's enough to dox me. There are a lot of people in New York. But welcome to the stream. So, it is Pride Month. It's my first stream during Pride Month, so yay. Good on everyone. You know, how we all doing? Yeah, okay, life sucks. Cool beans. I also forgot to shave, but, you know, that's okay. You know what, this is, yeah, it's my ear. Make my ear feel weird. Although I did get a compliment from, like, I don't know, a 9-year-old about it during, when I ran him through a game that was very, very much meant for adults. I toned it down a little bit, though, so it was fine. But he had a good time, and his dad was very nice. So we had a good time with them, and I did, like, a mini... oh, so, funny story. Vineland, New Jersey. Yes, last weekend in May, that, not Memorial Day. Memorial Day was the second to last weekend in May this year because Monday was June 1st. And so Memorial Day is the last Monday in May. And then the weekend before that is Memorial Day weekend. This is an important distinction because, fun fact, what's I going to say about this? Balticon is Memorial Day weekend, and Concoction was the last weekend in May. Now, if those ever overlapped, which they do most years, we will have to figure out how to do that. I don't know what next year's Concoction dates are. I really hope it's not Memorial Day because I'm always in Baltimore for Balticon on Memorial Day, and I'd like to also go to Concoction, even though I have too many conventions that I need to go to in my life. But I'd say Concoction was a success. It was a good time. I went. I had a lovely time. I only went for one day, and only like half of a day because I couldn't even get there until 2 o'clock because public transportation sucks. And I couldn't get Friday off work. So, and I couldn't get Friday off work, and I had to be at a family thing on Sunday, which left Saturday to go to Concoction, and I spent half of that getting there. And what I should have done, see, I'm learning that, was I should have taken the bus I should have taken the last train down on Friday, then the bus to Atlantic City. I could have spent the night in Times Square, got the first train out, from Penn Station to, yeah, like spent the night in Secaucus or Times Square, gotten the first train at 5 a.m. So that, yeah, it's been like between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. in frickin' whatever, and then got the first train to Secaucus in the morning at like 5 a.m., right? And then gotten on the Trenton line. The first one out was probably like 6. There's probably a 6 o'clock. Yeah, so I probably should have next year in Jerusalem, as they say. Although, not with all the bombing. That's kind of taken on a tone because we're having a new war for the Holy Land, and it's just like, why? Why? It's the city of peace. Why? Okay. Now, granted, I'm not going to talk politics. The people should not have to die for the tiny strip of land in there. But, there's a lot of bitter hatred over dumb shit, and yeah, I will just go with that and not elaborate because there are shady people on both sides of this. Okay, so, my point, vis-a-vis all of that, was, oh yeah, I was going to do Concoction, a review. So, let me first find, something. And I got 1 minute and 29 seconds. So, what I wanted to do was this. So there is a publishing company called Um, Duck and Crow Press. You know what? Let's do this. Hopefully they have a website. I'm sure they have one. Um, Duck and Crow. There we go. Duckandcrow.com. They have a really cute logo, and then they do really intense stuff. So, um, old school game stuff designed to cause a ruckus. OSR style system agnostic adventures and supplements for fantasy RPGs designed to cause a ruckus in any campaign. I will put a link in the, let's see. I'm going to put a link in the chat, and I'm going to put a link up there. And then that is my thesis for today is the Duck and... Oh, right. So I met them at... I went and saw Duck and Crow Press and at Concoction, among a few other things. I ran a game. It was basically and turned into a series of demos on the Hell of a Boss system from Akron Press because no one signed up to actually play the full, game. So I ended up just running a mini demo and got 3 people to come and demo the game, and it was awesome. So there's gonna be an ad, and then I will show you this, which is Duck and Crow Press, among other things. Is these guys? This is the first thing I got. One of the few things I got there. I got procured a handful of things. I tried not to spend much money because, that's how it goes. But it's got a whole thing. Okay, let me stand and stretch. I'll be back. So I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Okay, which is just about perfect timing. Hello, everyone. Hello again, everyone. I'm back. So, I think I'm gonna try and find a thing. As anyone knows, we're gonna do a little bit of behind the scenes things. So, basically, what happened is, how do I explain this? Um, um, interesting. Okay, so as I was trying to explain, Concoction was kind of fun. I did not get to go. Now I know better. So next year, I'm probably going to try and get one next year. What we're going to do is, um, assuming it's not Memorial Day weekend, um, maybe it'd be like the first weekend in June. Um, I have a plan on how I'm going to, I have a plan. So my plan is this. I am going to go to Concoction next year. Again, if it isn't Memorial Day weekend, I will go next year. If it is Memorial Day weekend, I don't know what I can do about that. We'll have to see. It's going to be a whole stupid thing. Anyway, I put that to Duck and Crow Press. Oh, and, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. And bonjour, welcome, hello, hello. So I got to go to Concoction, and what I was going to do is now I have this. So I got to go to Concoction for one day. I don't know if you were there. If I were there, I didn't see you, which is a shame. I signed up to run a game, and no one came to the game. No one signed up. So I had an empty table. I ended up running a demo and demoing some of the mechanics for a bunch of people. A bunch passed by. We learned some stuff. Let's see. Um, we're gonna go image, and I concoction. Okay, so concoction is it already happened, but next year there's gonna be another one next year. It's in Vineland, New Jersey, which is very pretty hard to get to on public transportation. There is a bus out of Atlantic City. I learned. I was still learning the route, so I ended up taking the train and then getting a bus. Depending on how you do the transfers, public transportation's. I ended up taking an Uber, and it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, and but it was doable price wise. And but next year I'm going to take the bus because I know where the bus comes from, and I have and it runs every half hour. And so now it's just a matter of getting to Atlantic City at a reasonable hour of the morning, which is exceptionally difficult. But if I if I'm what's I'm gonna do next year, I think, is I'm gonna talk to people. I'm gonna see if I maybe get Friday off. If I can justify taking Friday off. If it's the weekend after Memorial Day weekend, next year I'm not gonna be able to take Friday off because I'm gonna take Friday for Balticon for Memorial Day. But I can actually get there at a reasonable hour on Friday, on Saturday if I did this way. And next year we won't have Carrie and Maeve will already be married. Blessings to them. They are my cousins, and they deserve all the happiness in the world. And there won't be any like pre-wedding party stuff that I need to go to. Anyway, so I'll be actually be able to go Saturday and Sunday, and hopefully figure out something for Saturday night. Because I do have friends in the general vicinity I could probably stay with overnight, especially if Kit goes to Concoction. Like, if I can convince her to go next year, what we can do is then tag team it. And I can crash with her overnight. I think she made the offer. That was our plan, but then I had to go home Sunday anyway. Anyway, point being, all of this is to say that Concoction is really cool, and this year I could only go like a tiny bit, and I'm still glad I went. It was a lot of effort, and I'm still glad I went. But I can't do a really review because I was on one. Okay, so there was one game, and I was looking for something. I was like, well, okay, I finished running the game at 6, and then we have dinner, and then let's do something fun. And yeah, next year if you um concoction. Okay, now I just have to find the thingy I made. Um, um, but yay! Okay, so yay, we have a logo. See, I do. I have visuals. Yee! This one was the one that just happened. Um, oh, yeah, no. Absolutely not. But you should go to GameholeCon, because if you come to GameholeCon, which is a lot closer to Iowa, it's in Madison, Wisconsin, which is a lot closer to Iowa. Not, like, super close, but close enough, maybe. Yeah, no, that is an intensive trek. I wouldn't suggest you do that. But, I would suggest GameholeCon, because it's about the same distance as Lake Geneva, and it also has a lot of fun stuff, and I'm also going to be at that one, and you should come too. But, um, I'm at a lot of conventions, and I need to stop going to new ones, but, like, Concoction was actually fun, and... Exactly! So you should come. You should come. It's in October. So it's completely different parts of the year. So that's fun. And if... I... Because then I get to see you again, and we can, like, coordinate better and be in more games together. Hopefully. Maybe. But, fun stuff. Phantom's not going to be that one. But, we'll still get to go. It'd still be fun to see you. Anyway, point being. Oh, yeah, I had a whole point about Concoction. Let's do this, and don't forget... no, I don't want to do that. Let me... Yes. Okay, cool. So, Concoction. Now I get to actually talk about Concoction. Oh, yeah. So, Concoction is really fun. I am... Glad I went. It was exciting. I went to exactly two things. I had the game. There were three things. I went to the dealer's room and spent more money than I probably should, but I got to talk to a lot of cool people, and there was a lot of stuff that I wanted, but I didn't buy because I have some self control, just not a whole lot. Oh yes, so I did. I got a mini too. I actually bought a mini. Oh, because it was a Chonka and for Antiford. I'll show it off if I do another Antiford stream. Oh, so what I was talking about is, oh yes, so lots of different people, talked to some really cool people. Found this, which is the one book I bought. Pretty sure. Yeah, it's the one book I bought. Because I yes. So it is a Solace of Silver, that I got, and it is a small module meant for something like OSR, but system agnostic. So presumably, I mean, almost any are can be converted if you know what your if you know your system really well and want to do conversions. But this one apparently doesn't have any specific mechanics woven in, so you can okay, let's do it. Let's see. Behind the Adventure. I'm gonna read out some of it because I think it sounds really cool. Shadow of Lunaris is more than a series of adventures. They are my story woven into interactive one-shots that can be played separately or as part of a larger campaign. While others share their tales through song, art, or film, I focus on the craft I know best. This is Grisio Lupus. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Their name? Grisio. Grisio's name. Right. Um, while others share, oh yes, I write role-playing game adventures that bring worlds to life beyond what most can imagine. From my earliest days, I embarked on journeys, a creating realms of wonder and legends, a passion that has endured through the decades. In the early 90s, I crafted my first tabletop realm. That was when I was being born, so that's a long time ago. I crafted a universe born of my dreams. Yet through many trials and passages of time, I have lost the tangible echoes of my creation. Yeah, that's fun. Aw, thank you. It is for second day of Pride Month, and I've done nothing particularly proud, so thank you. It's a rainbow bit. For those of you who can't see chat, since you're watching this later, little rainbow flag bit. Which I do appreciate the bits. They add up and are exciting. Oh yeah. So, um, and I think I bought this because it was apparently a very similar to a coming out narrative. Allegedly, we'll see. Um, it's pretty cool anyway. Um, in my constant pursuit of creation, I develop new worlds and stories only to release them into the ether. Their existence is often brief. I know that feeling a lot, though. Yay, that's pretty cool. Oh, you got a little thing because you're my number one cheer for now because it resets every so once in a while and it's reset since the last time anyone gave me bits. So you are my number one supporter, which is fun. So you get a little golden thingamabob, which is pretty cool. Um, yes. But yeah, I have created so many cool like little worlds and stuff, and I'll come up with them, and then I'll write down like a bit about it, and then I'll forget about it, and it will be like an entire world that I created at some point, and then just kind of got loose in the ether. Also, that time at the hospital, um, sorry, we are going on a tangent, but I did at one point in the hospital get in an argument with a um, CNA orderly, something like that. That was his, who said that, who claimed that like plot was the easiest part, the world building was hard, and then I built him an entire world, like bunch of planets that were connected by Earth through a wormhole, so it was convenient, and like 6 different moons that all had like different settlement patterns, and it was like, here, you come up with a plot, and he had no idea, and I'm like, you see, plot is hard. I had someone claim, oh, you can just dig into your setting and you'll find plot. I'm like, no, you won't. You will find construction tree. You will find trees. You will find like, there's no guarantee you can dig into any setting for ages and not find plot. And it's a way of character. No, I don't have a character problem. It's just the characters I create are not the ones who are plot relevant because I don't care about like. Ugh. Anyway, I think I found a better way to articulate my arguments that we were having, but I don't want to debate her necessarily because she's cool and wrote fun stories, and I respect her as an author. It's just that I'm we have very different processes, and I don't know how to explain that to her. Um, anyway, point being, we're gonna go back to this because it's Shadow of Lunaris by Dale Houston and Grizio Lucas. It is from Duck and Crow Press, right? Yes, Duck and Crow Press. I've put a link in the first in the chat, and if it's not in the chat, it is in my Discord, which I should pimp because I know you're on my Discord, but I'm sure other people in the um I've created plenty of characters who are irrelevant to what I'm trying to plot, but they still exist and are fun to learn about. Yes, exactly, which is great, except when you're trying to write a novel that requires plot. And then you have all these fun side characters, which are cool, but are not useful for plot stuff. Okay, yes, and that's the Discord one. You understand then, I think. But yes, that is my uh, stuff. Um, because every person is the main character of their own story. It's just that most people's stories are very boring, or rather don't come in neat arcs that can be don't come in neat satisfying arcs, which is the main thing you need for a plot for a book. It needs to come in a neat satisfying arc, which is most people's stories just don't. Oh yes. In my constant pursuit of creation, I develop new worlds and stories only to release them into the ether. Their existence is often brief. They drift like fleeting stars and disappear into the void after a few years. Perhaps it is a process of renewal, cleansing away the mundane to make more space for new ideas and imagination. Now, in this rare moment of clarity, I chose to write about the grand adventure I have longed to tell. With renewed courage, skill, and determination, I gather the words to share my journey with you. At its core, a role playing adventure is a narrative, a journey through a maze of ideas and possibilities that reflects life itself. Nothing is ever simple or straightforward. Being seen as different, misunderstood, or even considered evil at times has created many challenges. Oh, this is why the guy said it was a lot like a coming out story. Those who dare to stand apart face a path filled with danger, discovering mistakes and moments of triumph. Day to day encounters unfold like pages from an ancient book. Skills are tested under watchful eye of fate. Some quests remain unfinished, lost in the shadows. All of this becomes part of a larger story. The treasure table, at times lacking, can offer rewards that can provide invaluable amid the chaos of an adventure. Being autistic is not a flaw or a curse. Oh, okay. Also, coming to terms with mental health or neurodiversity is also a thing. Um, it is a sign of strength and a hidden gift within the soul. I would say it's also a curse because you have to live in a world that's not meant for you, and that does provide challenges. It's also a way of being that can be helpful to you, but it is not a difficulty. When those who should have supported you leave without a trace, it does not lessen your worth. Also true though, but it makes your life harder. The challenges you face are only obstacles to overcome. Yeah, but obstacles to overcome suck. There is a path, quiet and hidden, waiting to be found. You will try, you will stumble, but in the end you will rise. Better than some, stronger than those who doubted you, brighter than those who thought you to label you as a way for them to dismiss your accomplishments. It may take a lifetime to understand these truths, but they are part of your destiny. When your shield shatters and your spear breaks, stand once more. Watch others fill with doubt and fear and retreat before your strength. I invite you, brave adventurer, to join me in this story. This is a recounting of my journey. Face the same trials I have faced and ask yourself what choices you would make when called to destiny. Grizio Lupus. Alright, I think that's pretty cool, honestly. And it is fun. So that is an interesting take. But it is also a fun adventure with like stuff. So let's dig into this. This adventure is designed for 4 to 6 0-level characters eager to break free from the monotony of rural life. Alright, so sorry, my eye itches. This is for very, very low level characters. I don't know if you can do less than first level. I mean, I've seen some systems attempt it. But, yeah, this is commoner stats. It will challenge players to confront both shadows of legend and the darkness that may be awakening within. The character's decision will shape their path and the world. Player slash background and background info. Another day of exhausting labor in the fields is over. As the sun casts its last rays over the village, DCC. I got to play DCC. Mutants and Master, like the mutants version. It was actually a lot of fun. But yes, I have played once or twice, and it is exciting. I did like the system. What little I played of it, I think I guess it depends on the DM. We had a really good DM. It was actually at Mutant Crawl Classics. That's the one. Um, I did play Mutant Crawl Classic. Um, at Gamehole Con, we got to play, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Um, and I got this dice for it because um, I have a set of DCC dice, and I was like, I want to use them mostly because it was shiny click clack math rocks and fun numbers I haven't played yet. Um, DCC. I do have actually the core rulebook for DCC, but I also don't have anyone to play with. Exactly, and they come in like way more flavors or types or styles. So I got a set because there was impact. They were running a Kickstarter for like fancy ones back when I had a little more discretionary money, and so I was like, you know what, yeah, let's do it. And now I have shiny math rocks that are in different shapes. The only one I regularly use is the D5, because for Rogue Trader, a lot of damage dice is D5, and I was like, well, I have an actual D5. Why should I use a D10 and cut it in half when I actually have a D5? Also, um, I have a trans-colored dragon fidget that I got from a at whatever freaking the one that was held at the same weekend as Gamehole Con, which no wait, it was spelled. There was a small convention that was held the same weekend as Balticon that I went to, and I cannot remember the name of it, but I remember Justin was like, "You have to come," and I was like, um, "Probably yes." Impact Miniatures Kickstarter, they do. Oh wow, that's kind of cool. Yeah, they did fancy fun colors for DCC dice, and I was like, "Yes, let's do it." So I got those. I got a few other fancy dice. They also had the like D19 one and the Fate dice. Oh, and I got the alphabet dice from them too, which we actually used at one point. Oh, no, here are my DCC dice. I thought these were the alphabet ones, but these are the DCC dice I have. And then I had I think I got the pretty set of actual dice too. Or the standard 7 set that most of which are in here. I think I'm missing the D8. Yeah, the D4 is not in here, but only one got missing. I think that's not bad. D13s. Mm. Oh right, I was going to read the player background info. I got to keep an eye on the time, but we got time. Life has always been difficult but simple in the village, but recent events have changed resilience into fear. Call to adventure. Let's see. Some months ago, a traveling merchant came through and told stories of Dire Lunaris, one who once haunted the juniper forest. Many elders recall conflicting tales from their childhood. Dire Lunaris. I think that might be this giant wolf thing, but maybe not. We shall see. That is a freaking cool art of the giant wolf thing. Hang on. Give me 30 seconds to look. Um, Cover art is Jagoda Ogre. Augur? Auger. Auger, I think. Jagoda Auger, who is at jagoda.art. Presumably on Instagram. If we poked around, we'd probably find him. Playtesters and contributors. They listed them, but oh yeah, I'm in the playtesting contributors for Neurovarden because I agreed to run the playtest. Fun fact, I don't have a copy of Neurovarden yet. I want one, but apparently I'm in the list, and Ben pointed out, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember we got to play that. It was fun. Okay, right. So, Dire Lunaris. More livestock than usual have gone missing, and dark shapes have been reported lurking near the woods. Fear grips the village. Ooh, so the big scary wolf thing is back. Yeah. Oh, that it was probably he put in the server, the Discord. His Discord server was like, oh yeah, we had Nervard and Lee and I tested it, and I'm like, yes, I remember that now. It was long ago that I got a chance to test it, but long ago. Okay. But events conspire to send the characters into the fabled Aitonwood. As they explore, they have the opportunity to learn more about their actions shape how they see the final encounter. Cool. So that's this one. Newvarden's fun too. Long before the people settled on this land, the juniper forest, now called Aitonwood, flourished with sacred magic. It resonated with the presence of Lunaris, the celestial direwolf. That's this guy. Probably that is a celestial direwolf. All right. Who brought balance and embodied the essence of life. As tales of Lunaris faded into obscurity and legend, so too did the woods become shrouded in darkness. in darkness with a capital D. In recent months, bad luck has fallen upon the village of Partus. A traveling halfling merchant revived the tale of Dire Lunaris. The merchant is part of a bandits gang that have set up in the woods to steal from Partus. Now we know. Of course, you don't tell your players that. That's GM background, so do not tell your players the merchant is part of a bandit gang. But something has awakened. Okay. Oh, the back, by the way. When normal life is subtended, when the stories of the past are revealed as truth, when secrets are uncovered, when courage and fear become manifest, what will you do? This is the first adventure of the Shadow of Lunaris cycle. It follows a group of inspiring adventurers as they journey into the heart of an ancient grove to confront a legend. Their actions will shape their destinies and the world. Rookies. It is best for rookies. They have a list on the back, which I think is kind of cool. I don't know if you can see. It says appropriate for crews of any level, but best for those who are rookies, capable, veteran, heroic, epic, and legendary. And they have rookie highlighted. So, or like dark highlighted, but like these darker than usual. So I don't know how you would explain that, but yeah, it's for rookie. Courage and fear. As player make choices, track courage and fear based on those choices. This impacts later descriptions, interactions, and choices. Each player roll for rumors of a recent event and a woodland legend as they chat in the Silver Stag, which is the starting tavern. They start in a tavern called the Silver Stag. Hand out additional rumors and information as they chat with other villagers. So they have D6s for the recent event and the woodland legend. Blacklit? Yeah, kind of. If you see it like this, it's blacklit might work, but they have it marked as rookie, but it's alright. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna roll a D6. We're gonna do a fun little this one, which is from something important. Yeah, this is a D6, and it came from it's a custom one from somewhere. Okay. I do not have a die built into my thingamabob yet, but I got a 2 on the D6. Yes, I have a 2 on the D6. So, for recent events, I seen spirits in the woods watching us. I've seen spirit in the woods. Yes. Yeah, I have the actual dice, unfortunately. I don't know, it'd be cool if I could put the bot in that would do the dice. That'd actually be kind of fun, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. And there is spirits. I mean, maybe it just spirits in the woods that are watching us. I suppose it could be moonshiners. That could be a thing. And the next one is 5, which is Woodland Legend. Wolf spirits and demons in those woods. There are wolf spirits and demons in those woods. Wolf spirits and demons, and spirits watching us, which actually, tie in nicely. And maybe moonshiners, depending on how you go. The incident. Ooh, this is exciting. As the crew is chatting in the Silver Stag over some pines, 2 things are happening outside. First, the halfling bandits dressed as redcaps, violent fairies that dip their hats in the blood of their victims. Actually, they ran redcaps. One of the first times we did some of our early CNC adventures involved redcaps. That was actually the aired adventures from CNC's titular set, proprietary setting. It was an aired adventure, and it did involve redcaps. And I remember that because my friend, who hasn't been playing recently but used to, was... Oh, aired? Yeah, aired is fun. I got... What did I get? A source book for aired. A few, because I have a lot of CNC stuff, because I think I got it with one of those... I have so many, coupons, hey, 15% off or whatever. So I used one of those to get a setting book for aired. And for deities, which has a lot of earth deities from older mythologies, which is kind of interesting, and some air deities. It's somewhere in my box of TTRPG books, which is right there. Okay. But yes. Red caps. Yes, he used red caps, and my friend was like, yes. Pointed out that politically, there are certain factions in our world who wear red hats, and it is a thing. which is interesting. So that was an interesting parallel, but I think Redcaps are just. I think fandom just chose that because it was random, but it's an interesting note. Um, and making them the bad guy is like, oh, okay, yes. I think it was one of those ones that's just um, unintentional parallels, as it were. But um, second, a pack of starving wolves are on the hunt near the village. Exactly. I think he pointed that out and was like, and they were like, ah, ha. And I was like, no, I think it's just red caps because those are classic violent fairies that um, have been villains since long before our modern red caps thought to wear red hats. Used to be white, in fact, but that's a whole other story. And actually, funny story about the white sheet hoods. Um, in I believe it's Argentina, that's just a way for cattlemen to keep flies and stuff off, and it's fairly common. And it's just in the U.S. problem solved. Well, yes, that's the theory. Feed the redcaps to the woods. Maybe. Although these guys are halfling bandits just pretending to be redcaps. Could also be fed to the wolves. Um, so they're about to attack the bandits. So we got some interesting tension here. We got two allegedly bad guys getting into a fight. 1A, it begins. 1B, 1C, 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D. Okay, and that's our numbering schema. Um, yes, wolves can be useful for problem solving. They can also cause problems if you don't have any problems for them to solve. Suddenly shouts from outside and the clanging of a warning bell. Redcaps and wolves, they shout while pointing toward the church. Some folks are running toward the intruders, others to safety. What do? Do you run toward danger or away from danger? This is the first step. If the majority of characters avoid the danger, mark 1 fear. If the majority of characters rush to help, mark 1 courage. Okay, this is the first question. Do you try to help or do you run away? 1B, hail of arrows. If the crew moves outside, arrows from the redcaps are about to land amongst a group of friends and neighbors. Will you put yourself in danger to shield them? If the crew shields their neighbors, so you offer the players, hey, do you want to jump in front of an arrow to help your neighbors? Different wolves? Oh, yes, that is a possibility. Or just fewer wolves, and I don't know. Wolves are, the thing about that is if you have fewer wolves, you tend to accrue all sorts of issues with the ecology because wolves, turns out, are actually useful for ecology. So, a lot of cattle ranchers in the U.S. Midwest got rid of wolves because they eat cattle, and then there were other animals, and all these populations got out of whack, and it actually caused a lot of other problems, which is an interesting note about ecology. But you don't want wolves attacking your village. Arrows from the redcaps are about to lance among a group of friends and neighbors. Will you put yourself in danger to shield them? This is the exactly. That's the thing. It's the cycle. Prey and predators, and you want you got to have a balance. Humans are interesting in that we're the only species to have ever uh, gone the route of domesticating their prey to care for them, like going out of their way to care for prey population. Um, I suppose you could, but you'd get +1 fear. I suppose you could do the opposite and pull someone else to use as the human shield. Let's see. So the crew shields their neighbors, mark 1 courage. Each shielding character is targeted by 2 arrows, +2 hit, and d6 of damage in whatever system you're using. I presume you could. I presume you could change that balance if you have a high impact system. 2d4 villagers minus those shielded die from the arrows. 2d4 minus whoever you shield. Now here's the thing. If you pull someone as a shield, they get added to the 2d4, presumably. But you don't get hit by the arrows. So, by the old church. 9 redcaps drop their small bows and draw pitted steel blades. 5 wolves, growling and fangs bared, surround them. A group of 12 frightened villagers charge, brandishing improvised weapons and farm tools. Are they charging toward the redcaps or toward the wolves? We don't know. Interesting. Unless the players get involved each round of combat, 1d6 villagers, 1d4 bandits, and 1d3 wolves are killed. Just every round. In this, maybe not. Maybe you roll low on the d6. Wizard has at least 5 hit points, right? Unless you dumped Con, you have at least 5 hit points. 5 on a d6 isn't bad. Listen, 5 on a d6. 2 arrows. So you have 2d6 of damage, assuming both hit, and you don't have any armor. So 2d6 is what? Average of 6 damage. So you just have to go a little less than average, and you'll be fine. And that's assuming they hit, which plus 2 to hit, assuming you're using a d20, is average wizard has what, 10 armor class? Assuming you didn't, because you can't dump dex and con, so if you dump dex and con, you are incredibly stupid. But let's see. Assuming an armor class is 10, there's a plus 2, so like a 11 AC. Okay, so yeah, plus 11. So plus 2, which means you're a you have to roll at a plus 2. Yeah, 9. So 9 or higher on a d20. So you still have still less than a 40% chance, I think. And yeah, it's less than a 40% chance, and you're or rather less than a 60% chance. Yeah, 55% chance, less than a 50% chance. 55% chance on each. Your odds are okay. And if one of them hits, you're probably going to survive, so. And you could survive both of them if they roll low damage. So I would say. But you're a commoner, so you probably don't have that many hit points. You probably have, yeah, a d6 hit point at most. So, yeah, even if you're not a wizard, you're. But. Let's see. Okay. So unless the players get involved, so you can stay out of this one. This is so. D6 villagers, D4 bandits, D3 wolves are killed. So in the scrum of things. Oh yeah, if you're starting with D4, then you are very, very dead. I mean, assuming the DM makes you roll, I would allow starting with 4. I know DCC is very much just roll for everything, and as a benevolent DM, I would let you start with 4. That's still probably going to kill you, though, with 2 arrows at a d6 each with a 55% chance to hit. Yeah, 4 is probably going to get you dead. So yeah, d6 villagers, d4 bandits, d3 wolves killed. Bandits fight anything near them. Wolves attack bandits and anyone that attacks a wolf, and the villagers attack indiscriminately. So yeah, everyone is just scrumming and killing each other, and if the crew does nothing, mark 1 fear. At the end of at the second round of combat, a bandit mage who has been hidden nearby targets the wolves with Sleeping Tone, and flees along with the remaining bandits. So put the wolves to sleep. You should have put the wolves to sleep and run to start with. You should not have pulled your blades. If you had a mage who could cast sleep, you should have, as soon as you realized there's hungry wolves, run for it. Okay, bandits are stupid. We've learned that. So the wolves fall asleep. Red caps flee into the woods. The red caps flee into the woods. Possibly, that is possible. That is a possibility. Villagers approach the wolves. You might be able to catch the red caps if you chase them. Do you let your friends murder the sleeping wolves? If the crew gives chase, jump into section 4C. The characters know that the woods are dangerous and haunted by malevolent fairies. Encourage them to stay together. So, if you give chase, you can go that. Whatever the crew does. Maybe the shadows are playing tricks on you. At the edge of the wood is a horse-sized wolf with silvery foal. It steps into the shadow and disappears as if it was never there. So if you turn to, as you're on the edge of the woods, this happens, whether you charge or not. The following morning, so if you don't run type the wolves for domestication, that is a taming, not domestication. Domestication is by definition a generations long, or generations of whatever you're trying to domesticate. Yeah, a generations long endeavor. Taming is step 1 of individual creatures is taming. Then you pick the tamest ones, and then you start a breeding program, and that's the domestication, is the breeding programs. Taming is individual creatures are tamed. Now, yeah, okay, first generation of a domestication, but they're still not domesticated, they're tamed. The wolves themselves will not be domesticated, they are tamed. The first generation of that is, yeah, the first generation of you're beginning the domestication process, maybe. But yes, this is very much a taming sort of thing. Oh, that's a lot of generations, but it is possible. I will say, yeah, it is possible. Although that sounds like a very bad idea. Just saying, that's a terrible idea. Bugs are a terrible idea with the faces. They. Mm. Um. Okay. So, following morning, if they don't start running off, um, let's see. The town elders call an all hands meeting. As the crew enters the meeting hall, they hear the following: "We must pray to the benevolent luminaries for forgiveness." Um, so the red caps are just halfling bandits. Someone noticed. Is it all a lie? The luminaries thing is a ruse. It's an old wives' tale. But Elder Tenebrae has been taken by the madness. Bandits are the issue here, not the superstition. All of it's true. If not already known, it is made clear that the Red Caps were halfling dressed up as violent fairies. So, yes, it does. Everyone in the town does understand the consensus. Rumors about Elder Tenebrae, who is apparently one of the elders in town. Um, another D6. Let's see. D6. Where do I have another D6 or do I have this D6? So let's roll a different D6. That is a 2. Okay. And he remains quiet to hide his rage. Okay. Interesting. The conversation will escalate into shouting. The players have an opportunity to calm things down. A standard charisma check, adjust to easy or difficult based on previous night's actions, will calm the crowd. Mark 1 courage. So standard charisma check is whatever in your, it's system agnostic. So whatever kind of charisma skill you have, charisma or charisma adjacent skill your system has, you use. I think I should have started this faster. I could have gone through. If it works, mark 1 courage, jump to the next section based on the character's action. If courage is greater than fear, oh, this is where the courage fear comes in. So if you have more courage than fear, section 2B, courage, more fear than courage is 2C, and courage is equal to fear is 2D. So the path of courage, path of fear, path of shadow, which is kind of wrong between. So the path of courage, if you have more courage and fear. I think, yeah, using human shield, I would say put 2 would give you fear. So if in the Hail of Arrows one, if the crew shields their neighbors, mark 1 courage. There's no way to mark fear, but if you use your village members as a human shield, I would mark fear for that. Let's see. So the path of courage is the elders come in and get everyone to quiet down. Um, uh, we are beset on all sides. Your actions show bravery and courage because if that's the case, you have actually helped out some. Um, yeah, and if the crew does nothing, you mark fear, but you don't get bonus courage for helping in this nonsense, but you get 1 fear for not. Let's see. We are sitting on the side to your actions show bravery and courage. We ask that you continue to show the bravery and to put an end to the woes and beseech the luminaries. Yes, so to free Elder Tenebrae from the madness that afflicts him. And then you jump to section 2E. It's section 2E either way. So the 5 remaining elders enter but are angry. We are beset on all sides, and while many stood bravely, your cowardice has been noticed. To atone, you will enter Etron. Oh, so you're doing the same thing, but it's different shades of entering. You, as showing cowardice by running away, you're going to make up for that by going into the Aten Woods and sacrificing yourself to save Partus, which is the village, and Elder Tenebrae, and the Path of Shadow. 5 remaining elders enter, browse the any concern. We are beset on all sides, and there are no answers. The Fates decree that we ask you. Oh, the Fates decree. So they're just like, okay, you know what? You're random volunteers, and we choose you guys. Random volunteers, and we choose you guys. Versus you have to make up for being cowardly assholes, or you are brave, and therefore you should go in because you're the bravest. Interesting. And then onward toward fate. So that's an interesting thing. It's the path is the same, but how you get sent on it differs based on your actions. That's an interesting way to do it because, yeah, having branching paths complicates things, but so it makes it harder. So it allows more variety in player choice matters, while also keeping the path concise for that. And the one, if you run... Wait, what is... Curiosity. Okay, so 4C. So there's 3... 4C is the bandits' camp. Okay. So, if you give chase, you end up straight at the bandits' camp, because you just chased them to it. If you end up going this way, you end up meandering through and encounter other stuff as you try to find the bandits' camp by going through the woods instead of just chasing them there. Interesting. Tonight, the moon is full, so you must enter the woods tonight. Okay, yeah, you have to go now, because full moon. Deal with Linares, the bandits, and whatever else you may find. The elders pause, look at one another, and nod to Canute. We will reveal to you the sacred path which our ancestors used to commune with nature. Ignore your feelings, stay on the path. Stay on the path. There is a sacred path. If you go off the path, bad things will happen. And there's rumors about the sacred path, too. So let's roll another d6 and see a rumor. 4. Is that? Just an old game trail, now brambles. So it's not actually sacred or anything, it's just an old game trail. It's convenient, sure, but not, it doesn't have any actual, mojo, it's just convenient. And there's brambles now, so. Crew are provided with some basic gear to divvy up among themselves. Tattered leather armor, one suit of armor, one small battered wooden shield, 3 daggers, good but sharp, a pitted rusty short sword, 3 daggers and a short sword, a short bow and 6 arrows, so 1 sword, 1 bow, 3 daggers, between however many, let's see. Yes. 4 to 6. So among 4 to 6. So you have up to 6, and you have... Well, yeah, so you have 5 weapons and a shield, and 1 set of armor to divide between up to 6 players. So I think you might have to adjust those numbers a little if you have fewer or more players, but that's the thing. 1 potion of healing. Oh, you have a healing potion. The ref may want to allow for additional equipment that they might be available, simple weapons and armor, a lantern, torches, etc. The group should be poorly equipped, but not destitute. Yeah, so if you have 6 players, you might add a couple more daggers to the pool, like, add it as 4 daggers, just so everyone has something. Some sort of, poorly equipped, but not destitute, so everyone has something. Or, like, throwing a staff, they can use as a club. Yes, have the rest of the day to prepare themselves, speak to loved ones, atone for mistakes, say goodbyes, kiss the crushes, and generally prepare for the biggest moment of their lives so far. Sacred Path meanders in a random loop. There is information and opportunities, but to move forward they must leave the path. If players are stuck, ask if they will keep doing as they're told, stay on the same paths, or keep avoiding the unknown. You can guide, but let them make the choice. So, at dusk the elders reveal the secret entrance to Sacred Path. Mist crawls along the ground. The entire forest feels as though it is awakening. A sacred path grants wisdom. It is the only way forward, except that it comes in a loop. Interesting. And with that, you are alone. And just beyond the path, the mists thicken the trees, obscuring vision. Small clearing lined with stones. So first thing you encounter is a small clearing lined with stones. Moonlight flickers through the juniper trees. Shadows twist around you. There is no path to exit the woods. All attempts to backtrack lead to Section 3A. So you can't get out of the woods. The only way to go out is through. So if you try to backtrack or anything, you'll just end up in the clearing again. If players follow the path, roll a d6 to see which area they encounter next. If you leave the path, jump to 4A, which is not the bandits' camp, but flickering lights. Okay. So there's 3A, 3B, 3C, and 3D, and you roll a d6, and that's the order you encounter them in. Alright, let's do it. 5. So that gives us 3C, 3D, 3B, and another 3B. Okay. So 3C, the Druid's Mark. An eerie pulse resonates from the shadows of a small clearing. Odd flowers create a silvery sigils around a carefully cut stump. On the stump is a wooden bowl and a silver dagger. If any players ask this familiar, it's clearly druidic. So if the players ask, can I make a knowledge check or something, you tell them. Clearly druidic, Elder Tenebrae has similar flowers by their house. Their house? Tenebrae uses they, them. Interesting. Or it's just gender is whatever the DM decides. Study Elder. Make a standard religion or intelligence check. So that's what the players get if they ask anything. Um, the standard religion or intelligence check of some sort, whatever you've got, based on the system you're doing, some sort of brains check, religion if you have anything specific. Character clearly sees the connection between the ancient druids and Lunaris, but no details. If they fail, they're like, huh, druids and the ancient rumors, it's a wolf, druids, yes, that's a connection, but they don't know any details. If they succeed, it is clear the druids venerated Lunaris, both as protector of nature, both protectors of nature, so clearly the druids venerated them. A sacrifice of blood may be offered. Courage from this knowledge bolsters the character. So you gain +5 on rolls of their choosing while in this scenario. So you get you get just +5 to some type of roll. Just a nice little +5 bonus to rolls of their choosing. So a whole category of different things like all intelligence checks or all wisdom checks or some sort of broad category. Just all. It is not specified. Um, but yeah. Praying to the altar or similar action will grant the crew a boon. Mark +1 courage. Any kind of respectful gesture. I don't think you get the +5. You get a +1 courage if you do anything. You only get a +5 if you make a blood sacrifice. I don't know if the blood sacrifice. Those who study the titular altar know that by sacrificing themselves to the forest, they will grow closer to the forest. This is an ancient druidic ritual. Cut with the silver dagger, bleed into the bowl. Reduce maximum hit points by 1. Oh, especially with that DCC, that's tight. Gain vision from section 4E and a permanent +1 bonus to armor class against evil or malevolent forest creatures. Ooh, so it's +1 armor against evil things, but you sacrifice 1 hit point, 1 max hit point. Yeah, see, this is where the system agnostic thing gets kind of dicey because it's 1 hit point in can vary widely depending on what system you're using. Let's see. 4E is Druid's Legacy. And gain a vision. Visions from the pond. So if you do, you get a vision. If the sigil flowers are harmed, or the boulder dagger is stolen, or the altar or druidic heritage otherwise disrespected, mark of fear. And 6 spectral direwolves, led by 1 child of Lunaris, from section D3, appear and attack. Players can choose to stay on the path or leave the path. So they can choose to leave the path, or you go, if you choose to stay on the path, you get 3D, which is Moon-Bathed Pack. Let's see. From section 3D. Okay, so if you disrespect the altar, you get the 3D is the attack from the wolves. You get it in 3C if you disrespect the altar, but you get it in 3D anyway. Lady bathed in moonlight and brighter than anywhere else. Pack of wolves, tending wounds from arrows, blades, and fire takes notice of your approach. A child of Lunaris stands at the center of the pack. The pack growls menacingly. So these pack wolves are been hurt, and they're in the middle of trying to lick their wounds. Literally lick their wounds because they're wolves. If helped, the child of Lunaris steps forward and will travel with the crew as companion. Mark +1 courage. So if you are help the wolves with the with bandages and stuff, as best you can. I mean, you don't really have any, but okay. They can speak, are named Reldrun, but will not converse on any subject. They can talk, they just are taciturn and don't do conversation. If left in peace, they remain at a distance, but may defend Lunaris in section 5. So, if attacked, they fight. Mark 1 fear. So if you help them, if you try to help the wolves, you get you get courage. If you try to attack the wolves while they're down, you get fear. If you leave them alone, they just kind of don't cause any trouble. There are 13 wolves and 1 child of Lunaris. They will fight to the death. Yeah, you're probably going to die because you're probably going to be the ones dying because fighting against 13 wolves when there are maybe 6 of you and you have, even if you have weapons, you have 1 weapon each at most, and yeah. Stay on the path or leave the path. And only one of you has only 2 of you have any shield or armor. Maybe, or unless you give them both to one person, have them tank, but even then. So you choose to stay on the path or leave the path. Then Moonlight Mist. Moonlight Mist. Oh, I see. So you just keep going, getting encounter after encounter until you finally are like, okay, fuck it, we need to leave the path. And then, so 3D, and then 3B and 3B. So you get the Judgment of Crow twice. So you can either get Judgment of Crow twice, find the Druid's Mark twice, 3, or you just go into talk to the wolves, and then you just end up looping back to the um yeah. So either that, or you just encounter the wolves and then just keep looping back, going around in circles and ending back in the clearing over and over again until finally you say F it and just leave the path. So this is Druid Mark. So you're gonna hit the wolves once. You only hit the wolves once, no matter what you roll. You can either see the little setup. Most cases you'll see the setup, but usually not until you either see the setup in the beginning, at the very end, of your 4 encounters, and I guess you just loop back to the beginning if the players are stubborn and don't leave the path. And yeah, or if you end up looping back, leave the path, and as soon as you leave the path, you get to the next section. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep looping around until we're just getting off this path. Okay. Interesting. Judgment of Crows, which is the other one. So in the way we rolled it, you would end up getting Judgment of Crows toward the end. Each time the players encounter this, increase the number of crows by 1. First time, because in the way we rolled it, you would get this one after you'd already encountered the mark and then ran into the wolves, and or got attacked by the wolves, you screwed up the mark, and then ran into the wolves again. It doesn't specify 13 wolves. Yeah, it doesn't specify stats for the wolves. Monster stat blocks. Yeah, they have monster stat blocks at the back, but I guess since it's system agnostic, you're probably just use whatever basic wolf you have in your system bestiary. Let's see. Threat, size type, hit dice. Future adventures, geography. Does it have a section in the back? Oh, wolves. Halfling, wolf, and wounded wolf. Okay. So a threat 1, medium humanoid. Threat is a danger rating 1 to 10, so it's only a threat 1. Hit dice 2. Determines hit points, number of d8s rolled, and general bonus for check saving throws and attacks, or modifying Thaco. Okay. If you're running in Osric, or 2e. AC 13. So it is based on... Okay, so while it says modifying Thaco, your AC 13... Here's the question, though. It says AC 13, AC 12, AC 13. I'm guessing... Yeah, I'm guessing that's the... So AC... So that one is using... The... 5e system where your armor class goes up from 10 rather than down from 10. Because there's no way they're getting that bad at armor class. There's no way a wolf is going to have that bad an armor class where you're going... If you're going down from 10, there's no way you're getting a 13 armor class for a wolf. So it's using armor class and the thing of going up, but then they say for modifying Thaco. So I would presume if you're using something like that, you would just put them at like 2 or 3 armor class, which I think would be a fair, or like 8, or subtract it from 10 instead of adding it to 10. Yeah, I think that's how you would do it. Size, type, armor class. Oh, an unarmored person is AC 10, higher or stronger armor. Round AC minus 10 divided by 3 for Cairn. Okay, so if you're using the Cairn system, you do AC minus 10 divided by 3. So, it doesn't say for Osric or when you're doing that, but I just take 10 off and go the other way from 10 would be a good option. MV is movement, assumes base of 40 movement for the average unencumbered human. Okay, so if you're using an average of 30, you just kind of have to adjust from there. Number appearing, usual number encountered, may differ from the counter table values. Yeah, it's 13, but for wolf it says average appearing is 2d8, but it says 13 specifically for this part, so okay. Mine. Simple description of the creature's overall general outlook, mood, bearing, or presentation. Mien. That's mine French, but I don't know if it's got another... We're doing a vocab check. We are doing a random vocab check, and it's 3:03. Okay, I need to go to work, but I want to check this. M-I-E-N. Definition. Definition English. Okay. Merriam-Webster. Air, or bearing. Oh, air as in you have a certain air about you. Or bearing especially as expressive attitudes or personality, demeanor, appearance or aspect. Dressed in formal Mayan. Mayan? Let's see.
Mean.
Mean. That's what Merriam-Webster says. Okay, mean. Okay, we learned a new vocab word. Mean, as in spelled that way. M-I-E-N. Mean. As in an airing. It is we learned a new vocab word. Okay, I'm gonna snooze the ad. Because 5 minutes. Because honestly, I'm gonna have to end the stream. We got way too distracted by side quests, so we couldn't go through all of it. But this is Shadow of Lunaris. It is by Duck and Crow Press. It's kind of fun, from what I've gathered of it. Like you have to go off the path, and you keep encountering random nonsense until you are forced to do that. And then you get you run into, if you go to 4, you get Druid's Legacy, Doubt, Darkness, Flickering Lights. If you enter from section 3, otherwise, so thick mist climbs your legs. You could feel the forest watching you. Was this a terrible mistake? And then that's if you just leave the path. But if you go otherwise, the air grows colder as wisps of mist writhe in your periphery. Flickering lights and shadows beckon deeper down uncertain paths. The path you were just on is swallowed by the forest mist. An old brass lantern covered in moss lies against a juniper tree. I think if you start chasing them back in 1C, section 4C. Oh no, so you don't go that one. If you start chasing them, you just end up at the bandit camp. If they were okay, so if they were chasing for section 1C, otherwise, shadows form and dart in front of you, getting lost in the mist. Okay, we were supposed to be ending the stream, but this is a whole host of things. Blich. Moonlight illuminates false shapes. Crow's caw above an ancient juniper forest consumes you. Disoriented, you hear the fading sounds of battle. That's if you start chasing. Then otherwise, okay, so after that, or if you come in from just coming off the path, mist thins, revealing a clearing. Red-eyed crows watch silently. This campsite is in shambles. Ripped up tents. A Vardo, enclosed caravan, knocked on its side. Is a point crawl, giving the players multiple paths to choose from each area. The descriptions for each path are clues in the area which they lead to. All paths are clearly seen. Okay, so you kind of see, even on a path, mists are disorienting. A standard orienteering check, or some similar, like, survival check, is required to pass the next section. If the players have the path once before, the check is easy. If twice, no check is required. So failing the check initiates the encounter in 4H. So to check, failing check, so you end up in 4H, which is 4E. So okay, so you can see all of them. The false murder of crows, 4H. Okay, so basically you can see point crawl, multiple paths from choose from. So you have A, B, C. B is just the darkness. A is flickering light. So yeah, so you see A, B, C, D. Okay, D is you are lost. So D is if you get lost. Giant crow will follow and insult the players. Be judicious with insults directed toward the players. This encounter is meant to be strange, but remember, this is supposed to be a fun, and it is just a game. Okay. So don't do anything, like, really tense. Alright. So depending on there's different paths, and you can go toward different ones. Okay. Ugh. Alright. And then you hit the bandit camp and or find Lunaris eventually. Okay. This is really cool, and it's probably meant to go over the course, because you kept going back, and you can try different paths, and then you have the encounter, and then you end up back at, like, the nexus of getting off the path, and if you want to go back to where you've been before, you can use checks, and okay, that's interesting. If you get lost, you probably end up hitting with all of the crows, and then you can reorient yourself with another check. I might make, if you fail enough checks in a row, you just end up in one or the other, just something. Okay, I am ending the stream. I promise. So, thank you all for coming to the stream. It was a little meandering today. I didn't have any food during the stream as a uh um because I know some people actually get really bothered by that, and so I was trying something new. I did manage without it, so maybe I don't eat so much on stream anymore. I don't know. We shall see. But yes, thank you for coming to the stream. I really appreciate it. We are gonna raid somebody, I think. Even if there's just me and one other person. We're gonna go and quick filters following. Yes, that should be automatic. Alright, we're gonna raid Sable because Sable's on. Let's go raid Sable. Come on, let's all go say hi to Sable. She's cool. She's, forgot. Let's go. I'll raid Sable, the Bunny Queen. Come on. Off we go. Remember, take care of yourselves. Whatever you need, rest and that. Don't push yourself too hard. I will eat food. You should do the same. Let's go. Night, everyone. We all aboard. The raid train. Choo choo. Let's go.